Rise up, the Dukes are back, and now it's time to rise up. The crew is back, and now it's time to rise up. The Dukes are back, and now it's time to rise up. Rise up, rise up. The Dukes are back, and now it's time to rise up. The crew is back, and now it's time to rise up. The Dukes are back, and now it's time to rise up. Rise up.
And we're back to another episode of D's on Fire podcast. Best episode ever is about to come up. Oh my God. Oh my God. They beat the boogeyman. They did it.
In shock. I
can go ahead and take his 24 fucking points and just cry because they just got beat by Jimmy fucking Clark. Ice in his veins. Oh my God. Jake to Michael with an icon moment, two iconic moments, the drive and the three after the draw may rebound. Trey Williams is a fucking warrior. He hurt his shoulder in the first half, got the jump ball and then gets hurt. And then somehow the announcers forget about that. And the refs didn't change the freaking jump ball from a minute ago.
I know, that's what I said.
And then the announcers are acting like there's some conspiracy. Our guy just got hurt because of that, and you just forgot about it.
Oh, this is I'm not used to this feeling with this team. I'm still in shock, I think.
Alec, I can speak for just about every Duquesne fan I know. Nobody is familiar with this feeling.
That was a classic. That was a good fight, but we're gonna lose this game. Like classic Duquesne fashion. I was so anticipating for it.
That three by Jake to Michael to get us to a 1-point lead after being down the entire second half, really just wow. And then the Day Grant in the corner three from the David Dixon offensive board. Oh my goodness.
That was something I wrote down. They got a switch between Trey Clark and Dixon. Trey dumps it into Dixon because he's got the size advantage, just puts it over the top. Needs help on the inside. Opens it up for Day's a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. He's not an off the dribble shooter. But he made that three. That was great offense.
I mean, we did not shoot the ball well at all in the first half. But we drove and we played hard-nosed defense, and a lot of Dayton fans are complaining about us fouling Deron Holmes so much. The first half, they called some soft calls down there, and Dixon's foul out call in particular, soft.
Yeah, it was.
God.
The whistle was super tight tonight. Obviously.
Way. I'll say one way. Jimmy Clark just stepped out of bounds. I mean, he got pushed, but we'll ignore that. He just stepped out of bounds on the baseline. Jake to Michael. Oh yeah, he just lost control of the ball. Yeah, it was a block. Yeah, that's.
You're talking about the first half. When you texted me.
I'm talking about everything right now. Dayton fans can go ahead and complain. I'm calling out Sully right now. I have quote tweeted several of his tweets talking about how Duquesne's not a good team. That's why we're only down by 2 when we played like shit. You lost to a not good team. This not good team, they can go to the tournament. If they play like tonight, tomorrow, and the next day, they're going to the tournament.
I almost wish there were all the bigger seeds were still in the tournament, so that focus would absolutely 100% be there. I know it's the tournament and it should be. I had that
same thought. But I did not want to bring it up.
But I low key want to play Richmond or something, not friggin' St. Bonaventure, who's a pain in our ass.
To be fair, St. Joe's in the championship would still be a revenge game.
That would be a revenge game. That would be epic. I should half consider taking the train in New York to see that game.
Yeah. I gotta see what my schedule is now this weekend. How upset would Anna can be? She doesn't have class or work the rest of this weekend. What are we looking at, folks?
But you said the first half was I mean, I wrote it down like they played really great in the first half, and particularly points in the paint. I think like the graphic said 20 points in the paint in the first half. They shot 52% overall from the field, but only 20% from three. So I mathed it out. They shot 73% from 2 point range in the first half. And that's the type of offense that I really like. Getting into the paint opens up everything else.
Trey and Jimmy were driving consistently in that first half, and it was
opening
things up.
Yeah, Dixon points in the paint. Trey Clark, Trey Williams, Rozier got a layup in the first half. DeMichael driving hard. Like all different players, everyone not afraid of Holmes in the paint, which
shouldn't be.
Really? Shouldn't be, but also can like I can understand why. You shouldn't be, but a lot of teams are.
Right, because he doesn't get fouls called on him. But that's fine. He had one foul all night. He had plenty of moving screens that didn't get called, but he only got one foul called. That was within like the first 2 minutes of the game, and the refs then realized, oh, we can't call anything on him.
And the second big thing in the first half was they dominated the boards too, which
oh god. All right. Alec, I don't know what happened, but you're frozen. I don't know what to do here. This is the greatest pod of all time, and you froze. I'm going to call you to let you know, because I'm sure you're talking right now. Okay, you're back. You've been frozen for a while. This is going to be great audio.
Did you hear anything about the rebounding?
No.
Oh God. Okay, so
I was about to call you to let you know you've been frozen for about a minute and a half now.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I was basically saying that they dominated the boards in the first half as well. It was 23-11 in rebounding, particularly on defensive glass, which this team is that's one of their weaknesses is defensive rebounding, but really finished off good defensive plays with the rebounding.
And going to rebounding, talking about the bigs that played, Netchus played great.
Yeah.
Minutes. Trey Williams, he did everything he could.
Dog. Absolute dog.
Absolute dog. Dixon, productive in his limited minutes because of fouls, but productive.
Yeah. And Trey Williams really stepped up, especially when in the second half when we were going through our offensive lulls, they put in Trey Williams' hands, and he had a few back-to-back like jump hooks to get the offense kind of going again.
And honestly, maybe the best big of the night. Drame.
Oh no, that was so mean. That was so mean. But yeah, I agree. Whenever he was on the floor is when Holmes had the most trouble, and he was never directly guarding Holmes, but the timing of his double teams were perfect.
Yeah, and when he switched on to him a few times too, and he did great when he was one-on-one against him.
I was thinking of all like during the game. This is how I guess trained my brain is. Like I was thinking of all the things that I was gonna say that Dan Brott should have done when we lose this game, and now we won. I mean, yeah, I might still say them, but
yeah, let's do it. We gotta throw it in there.
I don't know. This is kind of the time of year where your best guy should be playing like 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, but for a lot of the bigs, it made sense.
A lot of the bigs, like the big thing is understandable in this game in particular. But I mean, more so Drame. When he was out there, Holmes had the most trouble, and he was off the floor for like long stretches of this game.
Yep. I mean, the guards, it was mostly a 4-guard rotation, which was good. They did throw Hronsky in for a few minutes in this game, which I mean, I don't hate, but he also, it didn't seem like a game for him to really be playing.
No, I mean, unless he's like going to have the ball a lot in his hands with like if he's playing the 2-guard against kind of their smaller guards out there, that makes sense. But like then that means one of Trey Clark or Dayton. That means they're not going to have the ball in their hands, so it doesn't really make sense.
Right. I'll touch on a few negatives. The one Day 3 after we blocked Holmes and we're on probably a 7-0 run. We have the largest lead that we've had all game. And Day
In the first half.
Yeah, in first half. And Day just chucks up a 3 with 28 seconds on the shot clock and it's contested and he's off balance. What are you doing? We have all the momentum in the world.
It's really frustrating that he thinks he's a good off the dribble shooter. It's really frustrating, especially from 3. He just I don't know. I totally agree with you. There's not like much else to say. He's a good catch and shoot shooter, but he's not an off the dribble shooter, which most of his shots are off the dribble, unfortunately.
He's a good mid-range shooter too.
He's a good mid-range off the dribble shooter. But from 3, he can't Like there are advanced numbers out there that I don't have access to, but I would love to know the off the dribble 3 percentage for Day Grant because I would guess it's below 30%.
All right. That's too much on Day because he's still a good player.
He's still good. Yeah. Let's try and be positive. Yeah.
Let's focus on the player that should not be seeing any minutes.
We're going to the semifinal in the A10 tournament.
We are.
After going 0-5 in conference play to start off.
As the not highest seed left, but we beat the highest seed left at
yes. And a nationally ranked opponent.
Yeah.
A guy who is probably going to get drafted in the NBA, even though you hate Holmes's guts.
He won't play
completely.
in the NBA, but yeah, he'll be drafted.
I love the disdained hatred.
I mean, if the refs don't call every breath on him a foul and he actually does something, fine. But he gets babied in this league.
Oh no, I'm frozen again.
Wow, I heard that you said you were frozen again before you froze. So the self-awareness there is fantastic. All right, while he's frozen, I'll just say it. Dusan should not be on the court. Savrasov should play in front of him. He flounders on offense. He flounders on defense. He left Holmes open when that's literally the one player we could not leave open all game. He had 3 or 4 possessions in a row where they fed him the ball and he did not convert any of them. I'm sure he's a great guy. Dambrot mentions that doing this is the worst for him from an emotional standpoint. But if we lose that game by 2 or 3, I'm looking at Dusan's wasted possessions where he had layups that he could not finish. But we won. And it's amazing. Now we got the Bonnies. And that's going to be another rock fight. But man, is this team made for rock fights. Really is. Little Bonna X on Twitter. You know, outside of him hating Duquesne, I think we'd be great friends. Both Liverpool guys. Both love A10 basketball. Both have great senses of humor. This is a great night. Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna sleep. You sure this isn't a Friday? This feels like a Friday. I mean, what are we doing? Duquesne beat Dayton for the first time in I can't even remember the last time we beat Dayton. And it's a great Dayton team. And we didn't even play our best game. Well, it might have been our best game. We did not play anywhere close to our highest potential game. I can't believe what I just saw. Keeps running through my head. I was anxious as all hell at halftime. Tweeted it out. Can we get a whole day in between the first half and the second half? My body was literally buzzing. I could feel I I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Not gonna be able to. Unbelievable. All right, we're gonna take a quick break while Alec tries to fix his internet.
Insight is even less knowledgeable now with the regular season bids being taken out. So I don't know if anyone truly knows. At this point, why are we talking NIT? Let's just win the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah, for real. I mean, we've beaten every team left in the field here. I mean, granted, St. Joe's when we played them didn't have a Sonico the second time. But no, we beat Huntington full strength. VCU shoulders, so yes. We could win this whole thing.
There's a Duquesne Twitter spaces going on where there's a bunch of Duquesne fans and they're talking about like it's gonna be tough to beat the Bonnies 3 times. That is not the energy we need right now. You like, come on. I appreciate the insight and thoughtful talk occasionally, but right now,
We kind of I kind of caught myself doing the same thing by complaining about Day Day's, off the dribble threes. So I don't want to dive in too much because I feel like I am that person.
we're not worried about that. This was a huge win. I'm confident that our next game is not going to be our last game of the season with this special team, and we knew they were a special group. The talent was off the charts. The pod with Zach while you were celebrating your birthday, I talked about it. My worries going into both of these A10 tournaments was that these truly talented teams are not going to be playing postseason ball. The women's team seems to be confident they're going to get an NIT bid. I don't know. I trust them. The men's team, I think, just stamped the ticket for the NIT, but I'm not worried about the NIT now. I'm focused on the Bonnies. And then if we beat the Bonnies, I'm focused on cutting down the nits. That's what I'm focused on.
It's it's hard to picture, honestly. Like I can't picture it.
We are 2 wins away from making the NCAA tournament.
Oh my God, that would be how many A10 teams would make it then?
2, possibly 3.
That would be sick. That's good podcasting. That's that is pretty cool.
Dayton's definitely in, even with our upset against them.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially if we go on to end up winning our tournament.
Yeah.
Richmond was the number 1 seed and expected to possibly be a bubble team, and then they got upset by St. Joe's. So they're a potential 3rd team, depending on how all the other games.
Does St. Joe's get in? Even if they go and win this whole thing.
I think VCU would have a better chance, but the winner of that game would be another team that could possibly get in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to make the A10 have as many potential teams as possible, they'll want Duquesne to win it all.
They should.
They should. We never get a home whistle, whether we're home, away, or neutral. But for the love of God, can we get one, please? Please.
Someone just slipped like a few hundreds in the ref's pocket,
That
or
NIL budget will shrink a little bit, but that's okay. It'll be worth it.
yeah. It'll 100% be worth it.
Oh my God. If we play an NCAA tournament game, like
I'll have to take off work.
yes. No
I'll
work
have to
no
I'll
work
have to quit. I'll have to quit that day.
I'll quit
I'm
and
call-
say, just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. It'll be a sick day. I will not quit.
Now, if they win that first game, then I mean,
Yeah, gonna have to take a impromptu vacation to wherever the hell they're gonna be playing. Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
we are way ahead of ourselves. We are in total dreamland. But why wouldn't we be after we beat Dayton? We beat Dayton.
Yeah, and I think the key was like defense. Dayton shot 32% from the field, 27% from 3. They were at this team's identity since like after that losing streak in the A10 seat regular season. They just locked in on defense. Dan Brod's has said it, and they did it against one of the best teams in the country.
We are built for rock fights.
Yeah.
And you know what the next game's gonna be?
Oh
Another
God,
rock
that's
fight.
gonna be bad. That'll
Another
be
damn
bad.
rock fight. We're built for it.
It's not pretty basketball to watch, but it's pretty in the sense of like it's grimy. It's like it's slow paced, but they're working really hard on rotations.
Well,
The rebounding was really good today. Like grimy basketball, like for some I get a little bit of enjoyment out of that type of basketball.
talking about rotations. Do you think the Bonnies are feeling good after their double overtime squeaker on their second of a back-to-back and
Yeah.
now have to play us? Or would you rather be the Duquesne Dukes who have an 11-man rotation?
Right.
I wonder who might have
I don't think we should, but nonetheless we do. What time is the game? Is it it's tomorrow, right? Or is they get a day off now?
No, it's uh this would be a weird day off break.
No, they would.
I think they just play tomorrow, but let me check.
I used to have the.
Oh no, you're right. They do get a day off. Damn it.
So they play Saturday.
They play Saturday. I am so ready for them to play another game. Let's play tonight. Let's just run it back.
So they play at 3:30 on
Wow,
Saturday.
which is probably gonna be later than 3:30 because every game has been late so far.
Yeah, 4 o'clock. Oh, that's a perfect time.
Saturday time. Yeah.
Yeah, not too late, not too early. Oh, that's gonna be. I'm so excited.
What am I supposed to do tomorrow? I'm gonna wake up and realize I don't have anything to look forward to until Saturday now.
Well, there's other basketball going on.
I don't care about that. I can't pay any attention to that. I am too invested. Oh my God. Alec, we are 2 wins away.
Got to focus on the Bonnies now.
I keep saying it. It hasn't clicked.
So I'm looking up KenPom right now, like what they have for going into this St. Bonaventure game. Right off the bat, it's a 50% chance of winning.
Right
and they
down
have
the middle. All right.
Yeah, 69-68.
69.
69-68.
Who has 69?
It's
They have the
it's not
Bonnies
us.
winning.
Yeah, they have the Bonnies winning.
Those assholes.
Damn you, KenPom. Then you Keith or whatever your real name is, Kenneth.
Damn you, statistical nerds.
Hopefully, yeah, this will be a rock fight. This is gonna be bad.
I really wish we played tomorrow. I think we have so much more of an advantage if we play tomorrow.
No, I agree with you. We're hot.
We're hot.
We went into this tournament hot. They said it, a five game winning streak.
Yep.
Should we talk about the St. Louis game at all, or does that even is that so far in the past, even though it's less than 24 hours ago?
I mean, we don't have to talk about how I was freaking out when we were up double digits for a decent part of that game because I was all right. I'll admit this. I had Jimerson flashbacks before that game started of him just dominating Tevin Brewer, and I was thinking, I understand it's not a Tevin Brewer situation, but I could just see him going off because it's his last year, and he did go off, but we were just able to hold on.
Yep, he did go off 22 points. But so did Trey Clark, so did Day Day. Both went off for 20 and 17 respectively. Yeah, I never felt like, even though I kind of agree. I mean, I guess it's just comes with Duquesne fandom. Like you just never feel too comfortable.
Well, I mean, the first time we were up double digits, they did just completely chip away at that lead. I think it was down to like 4 at a point.
Yeah.
So
No, 100%. And something, and Dixon has been playing like really well offensively in particular. His post moves have just, he went from like having 0 to having like 2 or 3 go-to post moves now. His footwork's really improved.
I do have to mention, I was so hyped and then so devastated by the Trey Williams post move on Duran Holmes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
was-
that was so gorgeous.
That was so gorgeous, and then he couldn't put it away.
Yeah, that was tough to see because I was like, you did everything right.
You
Oh man.
deserved that, Trey.
Yeah.
You deserved that.
That's the thing about like NBA basketball, that goes in 10 times out of 10 when you like get a wide open shot essentially after a post move like that. College, it's like 8 out of 10. Like there are two of those shots for some reason they just don't go in. But he was, I mean, who is the most important player in this Dayton win, would you say?
I think it was Drame. It's either Drame or Trey Clark. And I'm gonna give it to Drame because of the similar, like he gives Andre Iguodala vibes. Where I understand he didn't really stop Duran Holmes, but he stopped him enough times where he stopped Duran Holmes.
And he also
He did make a few threes.
I think he's just automatic from corner 3. I think like I'm so confident it's going to go in if he's in the corner shooting from it. I don't care if it's contested.
I mean, but that's the going away from the obvious answer of it's Trey Clark. I mean,
It is, yeah, it is. And
it's always Trey Clark.
it
Whether we
is,
win or lose, it is always Trey Clark.
you're not wrong. He creates everything. He's the best passer. I hated the shot that he made when he took it, but because it went in,
Doesn't
you
matter.
have to love it. It was a badass shot to make that, to have the balls to take that shot. That was very like,
Trey Clark.
that was basically like, that was essentially a Kyrie Irving 2016 finals shot. Like that's essentially what that was.
Yeah. But talking about badass Trey Clark, the 3 in the first half at the top of the key where he just stared it down the whole way. I mean, put that on a tee. We have so many great t-shirt ideas. We just need some freaking buyers of Duquesne merch. That is a t-shirt right there.
I'd rather have the step back one, or more of a sidestep 3. But the pose is better in the first shot, but the actual shot itself,
Right.
like the game winner, was better.
Well, that's fine.
So
You wear the t-shirt of the badass look while you watch the highlight of the more important 3.
it could be a front and back shirt. Like you see the front, and then on the back it's the other shot.
Well, speaking of back, the no look behind the back pass against St. Louis after he stole the ball was by far the highlight of that game. I mean,
Yeah,
what a freaking dime.
the dude is he just does everything on the floor. Even though he had, in this Dayton game, he had 4 turnovers. We were kind of loose with the ball in the first half, but kind of
Two of those
tighten that
don't
up a
even
little
really
bit.
count. One was off of Trey Williams' hands on a bounce pass where Trey should have had it. As a
Mhm.
huge Trey Williams fan, Trey should have had that one.
Right.
And then the last one was him trying to create something with the end of the half coming down.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't. That's like throwing a Hail Mary and it being picked off. But I mean, it's an interception, but like,
It's a good point. Good point. Yeah, I can't. Duquesne out rebounded Dayton 45-28 overall.
Yep.
That
They
is
were-
insane.
They were blocking out so well tonight. I don't know
So well.
why could they not do that.
Why can't they do that all the time? And that's what I'm saying. Like I'm looking at the box score right now. Fusini Drame had eight boards, and I feel like he could have been out there 10 more minutes.
Definitely.
Right? Is it just me?
His legs are fresh, Alec. They kept them fresh.
I guess. I don't know, but
I don't think it was necessarily the reason why, but his legs are now fresh.
Trey Williams with 6 rebounds, and that's I've said this during the season before. You can play Trey Williams at the 5. Like you can. We had to do it out of necessity
He
tonight,
did.
but I mean the dude can rebound. He's pretty good at defense.
Yeah,
He
just
obviously has enough post moves to like hold his own on that end. Like, I don't know. And then Fusini can hit threes from the 4 position. Like, I like that lineup a lot. Where we don't really trust any other big other than Dixon at this point. So
I
playing
love
Williams at the 5 more makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and I do love Netchus. I really do think in like the defense only mode, if Dixon is in foul trouble, Netchus is the big that should be thrown in there alongside Trey.
Well, yeah. Well, either you flip flop both like Fusini and Netchus in that 4 position, like with Williams.
Yeah, or Fusini plays a 3. I'd be okay with that too.
True. And they did that a little bit in the first half. They had, I think they had Netchus and Fusini out there playing the 4 and the 5, and then the 3 guards out there. I think it could have been, any one of the 4. There are 3 out of the 4 that are options, and it kind of opened up the paint a little bit where Holmes wasn't in the paint, and then that kind of opened up driving lanes for guys.
We've got so much talent on this team.
That's why we were so pissed off earlier in the season.
We've got so much talent on this team.
That's why I guess speaking for myself, I'm very analytical of the lineup because we do have a lot of talent, but let the talented players play.
There's
Don't
a
let
tier.
the untalented players more shit. Sorry. Um, don't let the untalented players play too much.
We love you, Saversov. We miss you.
Oh God, yeah. What happened to him?
He just he just comes in for 8 minutes, has like the best 8 minutes of a game, and then just has never played again.
Has like a plus minus of probably like 5 every time he's on the floor, and nope, we don't need that guy.
In 3 minutes of play with some highlight plays mixed in.
Whatever. We're gonna have to ride it out. We're in the semifinals of the A10. We've done it all season. We're gonna have to stick to it, I guess.
I get it, but somebody has to talk to coach about. I mean,
If there's one thing that I would like, I'd be really serious about, play Fusini Drame more.
right. And I know
Like, have him be basically the 6th starter.
right, which I thought was his role early on this year, and then
Yeah,
that got altered.
the guy, switchable defender, shoot like he's 100% from corner threes. I'm pretty sure. Best rebounder on the team statistically and by the eye test. Dog.
Dogs everywhere. Kareem Rozier, dog of a leader.
Dog. That was a huge 3 that he made in the second half as well, when I think we were down by 4. That cut it to 1.
And
That was a huge shot.
Mid-range shot in the first
That
half.
was a tough mid-range shot. Yep. Dog.
There's one thing we said. I kind of want him to shoot more. That's what we've said throughout this. I kind of want him to shoot more.
He's a good shooter, but he just doesn't shoot enough. And it's tough because it's so hard for him to make himself open for a shot. Like, because of his size, he just needs someone else to kind of create that shot for him, which that's what Day did by driving and kicking for the 3 in the second half.
I mean, we've got so many freaking talented players. Day Grant, the first of the stars to shine last year. Dog. Trey Clark, the leader, the most talented player. If there's one guy who's going to make a play on either side of the ball at the end of the game, it's Trey Clark.
No doubt.
Jake
DeMichael, walk-on freshman. Starting.
No moment is too big. He's ready to take that 3 whenever it is presented to him. He's ready to drive on your ass anytime. Dog. Fusini Drame. Heart and soul of the 4. Deadly corner shot. Can hang with Deron Holmes. Dog.
Makes him uncomfortable.
Trey Williams battling through any injury. He's the big man AI. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Heart and soul of the team. The definition of a captain. Dog. David Dixon. Alec Persina's favorite player of all time.
All time. That's right.
The most talented big we have. No question.
It's not even close.
Athletic freak. Highlight dunker. Raises the roof every single game.
Huge swatter of the basketball.
Eats, sleeps, breathes, thinks, reads, drinks, blocks.
Good callback. Good callback quote there.
Keith Dambrot. Greatest coach in the past 50 years of Duquesne's history. Brought this entire team together. And is going for mission impossible. Shout out John Rothstein.
Back-to-back 20-win seasons. I mean, we can get frustrated, but that's because we have high expectations. And we don't have high expectations if it's not for Keith Dambrot, even though we criticize his rotations and minutes of players constantly. But that's because we're fans.
I can tell you I never had dreams, even preseason dreams, of the team actually making the NCAA tournament before Keith.
No doubt. Yep. Very true. Very exciting. I can't believe we beat Dayton, even if I don't want to say that this season was a success, even if we lose the next game, but I'm kind of feeling that way right now. I don't know if that's true. I need to like calm down a little bit to have logical Alec come back to reality.
We needed postseason play. We've clinched that now. But now that we've got that, we want more.
No, yeah, I'm greedy. I want more.
I already mentioned all the dogs on this team. Not all of them. There's still even more on the bench that we haven't named. They're hungry dogs. They want more. They're not going to be satisfied with this win.
I hope not. I hope not. And I hope
not.
they don't take the Bonnies for granted. Like, they should treat them like a number one seed.
Think
That's
of
what they should do.
how many seniors are on this team.
Right.
They're not going to take this lightly. They know they need to keep winning. They know with one loss, it could all be over.
I hope you're right. Because in that St. Louis game, I think I answered your question when we were texting back and forth, like the reason why never really felt comfortable. They played a little loose on offense because they were winning, because they were leading. And then they start taking dumb shots and making dumb decisions. In this Dayton game, they did the opposite, and they treated every possession like it was their last on defense and offense, and that's how they need to play against the Bonnies.
And that's how it's going to. The Bonnies have Banks at point, who had killed us last year, and he's coming off his best game now. They've got Venning, who's arguably just as dangerous as Holmes down low.
Yep.
We're not going to take those two lightly.
And I don't feel Dixon can't get in foul trouble again. I don't feel confident in 2 games in a row where Dixon can't play against 2 very potent post players. I think we got just put that into perspective. Dixon bowed out of this game against Teron Holmes, and Duquesne still won. Like, that's insane to say.
His minutes count had to be like 10.
Yeah, couldn't have been more than 10 minutes, 100%. That's insane. Like, how is that possible?
Dayton fans will tell you it's because we got away with fouling him every time he was anywhere near the ball.
He was 13 for 16 from the line, Teron Holmes.
Correct. With a lot of questionable calls giving him some of those free throws.
Yeah. And look, I'm a big NBA fan. Stars get foul calls, so I get it. But we still overcame it. Sucks to suck.
Trey Clark, Day Grant, Jake DeMichael, ice in their vein threes. Kareem Rozier, ice in his vein three. You can't leave us open late in the second half. We will make you pay for it.
If we have open threes, I think we're a decent 3-point shooting team. It's when we
Or
take a
14
lot of contested threes, like
Right.
dribble up contested threes. Those are terrible shots,
By the way,
including the Trey Clark one that he made, but he made it.
I wanted to talk about this. Day Grant passed up a three with Duran covering him towards the end to drive into the contested mid-range.
Yeah.
That is the one time where he had enough distance. That is your shot.
That's when you get in the step back mode and he can't recover from your step back and actually have a decently open three off the dribble. I thought the same thing. I'm like, this guy. Whatever. We won.
We won. Bring on the Bonnies. Let's go, Dukes.
Go Dukes.
The Dukes are back and now it's time to rise up. Rise up.